Welcome back to Voice of Africa, your trusted platform for critical updates from across the continent. We're always thrilled to bring you stories that matter, stories that shape the present and determine the future of our great nations. Today, we have a gripping and important update out of Burkina Faso, a story that underscores the nation's resolve to crack down on terrorism and protect its sovereignty at all costs. This is not just another news report. This is a story of vigilance, of sacrifice, and of national defense in action. So stay with us as we unpack the details of a major seizure operation involving hundreds of motorcycles and tricycles that authorities believe were destined to fall into the hands of terrorists. Before we dive in, we would like to issue a brief disclaimer. Voice of Africa is committed to promoting peace, stability, and factual reporting. Our goal is to inform, not to inflame. In a world increasingly divided by misinformation and conflict, we remain steadfast in our dedication to the truth and to the unity of the African continent. We urge all our viewers to interpret this report in the spirit of peace and national development, recognizing the complexity of security challenges faced by many African nations. Now let's get into what actually happened. On National Road Number 1, a key transportation artery in Burkina Faso connecting the capital Ouagadougou to the southwestern city of Bobo-Dioulasso, National Police executed a significant seizure. 3 massive trailers carrying a total of 900 Apsonic motorcycles and over 160 tricycles were intercepted. These vehicles were reportedly headed toward Korhogo, a city in neighboring Côte d'Ivoire. At first glance, this might seem like a normal case of transportation or commercial shipping. But things quickly took a different turn. Since the seizure on April 7th, no individual or company has stepped forward to claim the shipment. No ownership has been declared, no shipping documents have been presented, and no explanation has been offered regarding the final destination or the purpose of this large cache of motorcycles and tricycles. The authorities had little choice but to assume the worst. Given the ongoing threat of terrorism in the region, the government of Burkina Faso now presumes that these vehicles were being covertly transported to aid terrorist groups. The country's security apparatus is treating this as a potential case of terrorism financing and material support for enemy forces. In a press briefing, a government spokesperson expressed grave concern over the unclaimed cargo, highlighting that the authorities had strong reason to believe the motorcycles were intended for use by armed insurgents operating in and around the Sahel region. As you may know, motorcycles are a common method of transportation for armed groups in this terrain. They offer mobility, speed, and the ability to move discreetly through rural or forested areas, evading detection from government forces. The Burkina Faso government has wasted no time in responding. The seized motorcycles and tricycles are being repurposed for use by the country's own security forces, namely the Defense and Security Forces, FDS, and the Volunteers for the Defense of the Homeland, VDP. These groups are on the front lines of the fight against terrorism, and the addition of 900 motorcycles and 160 tricycles will significantly enhance their mobility and operational reach in challenging terrains. The Minister of Security, Mahamudu Sana, made it clear that this marks a turning point in the government's approach to terrorism and its financing. He stated emphatically that the time for playing hide and seek is over. After years of awareness campaigns and soft approaches, the government is moving into a phase of enforcement and zero tolerance. According to him, any individual or group whose actions are found to empower or enable terrorist activity will face the full force of the law. From this point forward, the government is committed to tightening its grip on all logistical routes and trade mechanisms that could be exploited by terrorists. At Voice of Africa, we recognize the gravity of this stance. This is not just about motorcycles. It's about shutting down one of the many avenues through which terrorism is financed and sustained in the region. The fact that these motorcycles were likely to end up in the hands of those who threaten national and regional stability is a reminder of how vital security operations are in this context. It also speaks volumes about the creativity and adaptability of terrorist groups and why security strategies must continuously evolve. Halfway through this powerful story, we'd like to pause for a moment to say a huge thank you to all our subscribers and members. Your support means the world to us. It means whether you're watching from Lagos, Nairobi, Johannesburg, or Dakar, know that your engagement helps us continue to bring you in-depth, relevant stories that often go untold. We especially appreciate those of you who've shown love through super thanks. If you're enjoying our content and want to see Voice of Africa grow, consider hitting that super thanks button. Every contribution, no matter how big or small, helps us keep the lights on and amplify African voices on a global stage. Returning to our story, it's crucial to understand the broader implications of this seizure. Burkina Faso, like many countries in West Africa, is caught in the crossfire of a regional conflict that spans borders and ideologies. Terrorist groups do not operate in isolation. They thrive on the flow of goods, money, and information across porous borders. In this context, motorcycles are not just vehicles, they are tools of war. They are used for reconnaissance missions, rapid assaults on villages, and quick getaways. Controlling access to such assets can make a significant difference in the operational capacity of these groups. Minister Mahamudu Sana was very candid in his remarks, explaining that some individuals and networks, often disguised as legitimate businesses, are involved in importing motorcycles only to resell them a few kilometers from Burkina Faso's borders, directly to terrorist factions. These are not just small-time hustlers. The networks involved are sophisticated and calculated, aware of the weaknesses in border control and customs enforcement. Their business is built on the back of national instability, and the government has now drawn a line in the sand. President Ibrahim Traoré has issued a firm directive: hunt down anyone who aids, abets, or participates in the financing of terrorism. Whether directly or indirectly, whether knowingly or through negligence, individuals found to be complicit will be prosecuted. The message from the highest office in the land is loud and clear. Burkina Faso is at war, not just against terrorists, but against the enablers who make their survival possible. Let's also take a moment to appreciate the scale of this operation. The estimated value of the confiscated goods exceeds 1 billion CFA francs, which is over 1.6 million US dollars. This includes potential customs duties and logistical costs. This is not a small-time smuggling operation. This is large-scale, well-funded, and highly organized. And the fact that such an operation was intercepted suggests a significant improvement in the country's intelligence capabilities and interagency cooperation. The national police acted swiftly and decisively, and the results speak for themselves. For citizens and observers, this event should serve as a wake-up call. The war on terror is not just being fought on the battlefield, it's being waged in warehouses, on highways, and at the ports. It's being fought in the shadows of legitimate commerce, where legal and illegal often blur. That's why operations like this one are so vital. They send a strong message to those who think they can exploit the system or profit from national insecurity. Burkina Faso's government has made it clear. It will not allow its strategic roadways to become arteries of terrorism. From now on, every truck, trailer, and shipment moving through these routes will face greater scrutiny. Border regions will receive additional surveillance, and law enforcement will be better equipped and better informed. This is about regaining control of roads, of commerce, and ultimately of the nation's future. In conclusion, what happened on National Road Number 1 is more than just a police action. It's a symbol of Burkina Faso's renewed resolve. It's a sign that the country is no longer willing to tolerate passive complicity or indirect support for terrorism. and it's a message to the region. The fight against terror requires more than military might. It requires vigilance, cooperation, and a willingness to disrupt the financial lifelines that keep insurgent movements alive. At Voice of Africa, we will continue to monitor developments closely and bring you verified updates as they happen. We believe in an Africa that is safe, strong, and united, and stories like this, however concerning, are also reminders of the courage and resilience within our nations. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this video if you found it informative. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our deep dives into the most important issues across Africa. And once again, to all our Super Thanks supporters, thank you. You're helping to power an independent African voice that tells the stories no one else will. Until next time, this is Voice of Africa, bringing you the pulse of the continent. Stay safe, stay informed, and as always, stay proud to be African. Proud to be